What is up, YouTube? Thank you so much for watching this video. If you do enjoy it, please like, comment, and subscribe. It would mean the world to me, and of course, only do so if you find value within this video. Today, I wanted to talk about the importance of estrogen, and specifically the estrogen gut microbiome axis. So this sounds very, very complicated, but it is sort of simple in a way. Basically, when your gut is experiencing some form of dysbiosis, which is quantified as a lack of diversity, an excess of diversity of microbes, little bacteria within your gut, estrogen can have some issues within your body. And these issues are affecting your genomic actions, right? So changing what your genes are doing to your body. Let's say if you have too little estrogen, you're going to be moody, you're going to be crabby, you're going to be less insulin sensitive, you're going to burn fat less, and you're not going to be as anabolic as you potentially could with more estrogen. Is that a bad thing? Well, yeah. Especially for females when they're in some sort of estrogen disarray, there's a lot of consequences to include infertility, to include PCOS, to include a much more worse and awful things such as diabetes, endometriosis, obesity and metabolic syndrome, and even potentially cancer for some females. So estrogen is very vital and is needed to be in balance. An excess or a too little amount can be a really, really bad thing for both females and males. Now, the interesting thing is that, clinical implications show that low estrogen can cause cognitive issues, impact a diverse range of physiological factors to include, like I said, muscle and force production and all these different things. But what we never really consider when we talk about estrogen is its impact on the gut and the gut's impact on it. And we never talk about gut health as it replaces or as it relates to estrogen in and of itself. So this study here is just kind of talking about exactly that. What is the estrogen and gut microbiome axis? And I wanted to briefly touch on it so that we could get a good understanding of why it's important to take care of your gut throughout any stage of life to get adequate estrogen and to support a healthy balance of hormones. So basically, what is to be considered here is that your gut creates a really, really, really important enzyme, and it's called beta-glucuronidase, right? This enzyme deconjugates estrogens within your blood and tells them, hey, you need to go attach to particular receptors within the body and take genomic action. Again, genomic action is when that estrogen receptor is modulated by that estrogen in and of itself, and then therefore tells your genes to enact a certain script that they have within them. That script might be for anabolism, might be for hair growth, might be for a various amount of other things. But the important thing is that beta-glucuronidase that's produced from your gut, specifically your small intestine, is absolutely essential to conjugating those other forms of estrogen. Without that, you really run into big issues, right? Estrogen is not conjugated, thus it's not free-flowing throughout your body, thus it's not attaching to those receptors and efficiently subjecting them to genomic action, and even non-genomic action outside of the receptor, which is a big deal. It's a really, really big deal, and I think more people need to be aware of it, so that's why I'm making this video. Basically what happens is beta-glucuronidase, it's a very hard word to say, comes from your gut epithelium, kind of attaches to estrogen, like I said, conjugates it, and then makes it go into the bloodstream, attaching to the receptor site, doing its thing where it needs to do. Again, estrogen is extremely important for glycogen synthesis. It's extremely important for female mucosal secretion through their vaginal areas, the Netherlands. Epithelial thickness, so the thickness within the uterus, the pH of the uterus, and specifically the actual bacteria. Yes, you have bacteria in your uterus. It's absolutely essential. So, this beta-glucuronidase is extremely important. And what happens, what's been shown in studies at least, is the gut epithelial layer, when it's healthy, is maintaining a large variety of bacteria, much in the variety of what we call consists of like 90% here. I'm going to try to say these correctly, and I'm reading off of the thing because it's very hard to say. hold on, bacteroidetes and firmicutes. Firmicutes are awesome. I've studied those quite a bit, so I know how to say those, and I took a class on it in college. So firmicutes, and so a large majority of a gut considered healthy is composed of these. When a gut is having a lower, what would be called an F to B ratio, you are going to have a less healthy gut. It's not going to be good, and it'll be labeled as dysbiosis. Now, what's been shown is outside of short-chain fatty acids by pyruvate being produced by a healthy gut and many other things, in that too, an imbalance in gut microbiota also disenables your body from producing the vital enzyme that I was just speaking on to do the things that it does. So what is all this to be concerned? And this is a great study if you'd like to read it. I highly encourage it. I'm not going to go through all of it because the clinical implications are long. It's a very, very long study. I believe it's almost 13, 14, 15 pages. So definitely not going to read it all here. But my point in this is you need to be taking care of your gut health. If you're not, estrogen is going to be out of whack. Your sex drive will be out of whack. For women, your vaginal function will be out of whack. And this is extremely important stuff. So high considerations would be including some form of highly fermentable food within your diet, such as a fermented vegetable, such as a yogurt, fully fat, which would be ideal, such as various other kinds of animal meats like tallow and other things that might include diversities within inside of them. These things are vital, and they prove to be, and when it comes to a healthy gut environment, you really want to support it, okay? Certain probiotic strains might be useful. There's a lot of detailed literature showing that there's no difference when probiotics are put into the play versus when they're not, versus, if they're taking a digestive enzyme or just probiotics. Like, there's a very, very large kind of combative environment when we talk about probiotics, and I don't think personally they provided a lot of benefit. However, I am not too dogmatic to say that there's no benefit. I don't want to say that, but I just have not seen benefit in them. So if you try a probiotic out, I would try to achieve one that's at least above 50 billion CFUs, which is the amount of strains within that particular probiotic, and try to at least make it a refrigerated version. I would really encourage you to get one that's cooled. When they're not cooled, they can often kind of die pretty rapidly, and those whole strains of bacteria don't last long in luke temperature. So try to do that. Another thing would be obviously improving the simple things, like you have a migrating motor pattern that happens as we sleep or just between meals as we're not eating. That migrating motor pattern is absolutely essential. It's like little tentacles in our gut that push food through as we sleep or as we're fasted. When we eat consistently and in between meals we're snacking and drinking caloric drinks and beverages, that migrating motor pattern doesn't really work as well as we want it to, thus leading to bacterial overgrowth into the small intestine, and even worse, possibly, H. pylori within the stomach. And there's a whole topic to be had there, but you really, really want to make sure that you're getting enough between meals time to have that complex work functionally. I would say no less than 2 hours between eating each meal. That's an absolute essential thing that you need to focus on. The other thing I would focus on is eating a low FODMAP diet, okay? I really wouldn't recommend eating any carbohydrate outside of white rice. That's just my opinion, and if you don't like it, suck it up and eat some poop. I don't really care. It's my opinion. It's what I've seen work best for most people without the reactivity of other foods. And then avoid low or high FODMAP fruits and vegetables as well. That's absolutely key. And then include a lot of meats because those are easy to digest, specifically red meats in the nature of organic, grass-fed, so on and so forth. If you want the best digestion, that's where you're going to find it, and you're going to find it in surplus there. So in my opinion, if you're able to kind of follow those few things and maybe implement a probiotic, I don't think it's absolutely necessary. I think 99% of the time it's just improving one's diet and creating diversity with good foods that's going to achieve a really healthy gut microbiome. I think that's awesome. I think that's what you should do. It's going to take care of your estrogen. It's going to keep a woman healthy and enhance her health. And it's going to keep a man in balance between hormones, especially when he's on a cycle. You don't want too much estrogen. You want too little estrogen. That's when you get crabby. That's when you get roid rage. I find that roid rage isn't really real. It's just a lack of estrogen. It's more like an estrogenic insufficiency rage. That's more of what I think it would be. So anyways, with that, thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it useful, please, like I said, comment, like down below. hit the subscribe button and follow me for more. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and comment down below what you thought. If you'd like to hear more from me, please follow me on social media at Kolton_Red on Instagram and Kolton Lucas on TikTok. And if you'd like to inquire about coaching, please DM me on Instagram for more information. Thank you.